What's going on, everybody? We have some breaking news this week where the Hearing Protection Act got rolled into a bill and is being pushed through to the Senate right now. Senate?
Yep, it is in the Senate.
Okay. Yeah. Made it through the House, into the Senate. If you don't know, the Hearing Protection Act is basically trying to clear up all of the regulations from the suppressor laws and stuff like that in the NFA to allow us to purchase suppressors off the shelf, over the counter, without ATF messing around with anything. So it's going to take away the tax stamp regulations, and it's also going to clear up any extra lengthy background checks, paperwork, all of that stuff. Is there anything at the moment that can be holding us back from what we're looking at here, Dusty?
I mean, there's obviously a bunch of different case scenarios that could hold it back, but the biggest one right now is the bird rule. So basically, what the bird rule is if there's a big bill and you're just trying to push something through and it doesn't have any kind of budgetary supplement to it, they can remove it from the bill. And if that happens, then basically they're going to take the Hearing Protection Act, say this has no budgetary implications, and they just kick it out. And that's going to be the biggest hurdle. Now, what everybody is saying that I've researched and what they are trying to push is there is budgetary implications on it because of your tax stamp. That's $200 every time you buy a suppressor. So there is a budgetary right there on top of man hours and paid wages of the ATF agents that have to go in, research, pull out everybody that buys a suppressor, do the background check. So basically hourly wages and stuff like that of the ATF. That is where the budgetary implements are going to be taking place. Now, will the Senate see it that way or will they not? That's kind of where we're at our 50-50 right now and where we're at the standstill. So it's kind of a waiting game to figure out where their heads are going to be on that situation.
Okay, so that's going to give us a little more insight to going forward about where we're going to be at on this. It should have budgetary implications, but I assume it would. That is a lot of manpower, hours, and all that stuff. Whereas a phone call into the ATF background check is going to be a completely different scenario than going over every bit of paperwork that is required to have the tax stamps involved.
I agree. Man, in all honesty, you look at it and you think about hourly, you're looking at, say, 11 months before you can actually get the suppressor that you paid the stamp on. You're looking at just a basic 8-hour day and one person working on it, say, that's a lot of money being spent and being paid out. So I'm not going to sit here and say what I think. I'm just going to go in. I just don't see how they can make it where it's not a budgetary
Right.
just because of that reason. And it is that $200 is the tax. I mean, that's just tax money at that point. So at this point, we're kind of sitting here. We're waiting to see what the Senate decides if they push it through. What does it mean for everybody if it does get pushed through the Senate, Landon? What does it mean for gun owners in particular?
So if that goes through the Senate, it turns every suppressor into basically a legal firearm. You go to your local gun store, buy it off the shelf, pay whatever that suppressor cost, which I assume with the way that supply and demand is going to be, that suppressor prices are going to go up because of it.
Yeah.
Just supply and demand. But it is going to bring the tax stamp out of play, so that's an extra $200 that even if they do have to go up, then we should save that.
Yeah.
It's over the counter. So just like going and buying your favorite pistol, rifle, whatever, there's no extra red tape. It's just the background check.
And I guess my next question on that is for the people that are doing their own research. And again, we always state that don't just listen to us and take it at face value. Please, we really want you to do your own research on it. We're just giving you our information of what we have gathered from doing our research. So I know everybody's going to say there's pros and cons of everything. With this, there's really no con in having the Hearing Protection Act dismissed.
Yeah.
But for pros, what would you say are the pros of it, and why is this even being brought into consideration?
First of all, hearing. That's in the bill. It's the main thing. it saves everyone's hearing. And I know personally, shot guns since I was real young. If I would have had suppressors on everything I had shot from the age 5 that I was shooting, I probably wouldn't have hearing loss like I have now. So it helps that. I think it's going to take tax burden off, even though we're not paying that tax. It's the manpower that's getting left out of it that we're not having to worry about. So in all, I think it's going to save the government money, and it's going to provide us with necessary items that help us in the long run.
And by the literature of I guess the bill being the Hearing Protection Act being pushed through with the literature, and that is all it's pushing. It's not trying to push anything else in with it to try to sneak anything under the table or anything like that. Reading the literature itself, it is legit just for the hearing protection. It says it in the name. I know with government and a lot of political views, everybody tries to hide things and tries to get stuff pushed through without people noticing and stuff like that. This one, when you read the literature of it, it is legit hearing protection. You have a suppressor on your firearm, you shoot your firearm, your ears are going to be a lot happier with you, is the best way to put it, to dumb it down. So this is all we're doing. That's all they're trying to aim for. And it's really more of, in my opinion, for sports shooting, more so than hunters or anything like that. It is for people that shoot a lot of rounds. When you're shooting a 308, that is a very loud, it reaches very high decibels. It's not good for your hearing. So makes it easier to get. That way, whenever you're shooting, you have a suppressor. Your neighbors, anybody around you at the range, anybody that's in that event during the sporting event for shooting, it makes it easier on everybody around. And I think the literature really does nail that home, and there's nothing in there that's trying to be hidden and pushed through.
For sure.
So with that all being said, I want y'all to do your own research. Tell us what you think in the comments below. This is what we've read. This is what we've researched. And this is kind of our feelings on it. I don't think there's anything in it that should be stricken whatsoever. We'll see how the powers that be judge it.
Yep.
You'll have a good one.
Let us know what y'all think.